members of our Congress, you will always have within our government those that are above the law. Hey, it's me, and I want to talk about something controversial, like that never happened before, right? But I feel it's a big problem when you have people voting against their own interests. And I often hear liberals saying that how can Hispanics vote for President Trump? He's against them. But he's not. He's against illegal immigration. They're the ones conflating the issues and making it about race or Hispanics. But many Hispanics are for secure borders and legal immigration. So it doesn't even make sense to say something like that. But when you see black people voting for Hillary Clinton, who has implemented policies together with her husband that are pretty vicious on black Americans, and then just recently in an interview, you had a Rachel Maddow-looking person interviewing Hillary Clinton, and she mixed up Gory Booger and Eric Holder, and Hillary Clinton goes, yeah, they all look alike. Isn't that exactly what a racist would say? Yeah, it is. Because you look at LeBron James and Denzel Washington, they don't look alike at all. But that is something a racist like Hillary would say. So if you have Hillary saying so many racist things, being mentored and, so in love with Robert Byrd, a Klansman, and then also helping and implementing policies that really hurt black Americans, and in addition, never really helping black Americans, then why would people vote for her? Now, of course, she got less black votes than Choco, but that makes perfect sense. But she still got a large majority of black American support. And maybe it's because black Americans just are programmed to vote Democrat, even if it's someone like Hillary Clinton. And she's not popular. Black people don't like Hillary Clinton, and with good reason, because they know she's a racist. She calls black people super predators, even children. And as I mentioned, she feels they all look alike. And in an email 2 years ago, she said that black people and gypsies are never-do-wellers, meaning when you put them in a situation compared to white people or Jews, that gypsies and black people will end up with nothing because they're just not capable. They're not capable to do well, even given the same circumstances as white people or Jews. Now, who says something like that? Yeah, that sounds like Stormfront. That's something a racist would say. And just the fact of mentioning gypsies, who talks like that in a conversation? The gypsies, where does that come from? Now, if you do know anything about the Stormfront website or similar websites, they always talk about the Jews and the gypsies. In normal conversation, anywhere else, even on hardcore conservative sites or nationalist sites, they don't talk about gypsies. You can only get that if you're like in the Klan atmosphere or Stormfront neo-Nazis. So to have Hillary Clinton in a private email, which 2 years ago was published, saying that gypsies and blacks are never-do-wellers. That's exactly like those cartoons they would have on the Stormfront, depicting gypsies and blacks as, brainless idiots wandering around, and tell that to Ben Carson, right? You're a never-do-weller, a brain surgeon. And I just feel like people don't understand that she's a hardcore racist. And she goes on a radio show in the campaign in 2016, and I also find this to be a type of racism. She goes there, and she's sitting with 3 black people next to a microphone, and she says that she has hot sauce in her purse, thinking that, that's what black people like. because maybe somebody told her that was a lyric in a Beyonce song. Now we're talking about a racist trying to appeal to blacks and using a kind of stereotype. But of course she doesn't have hot sauce in her purse. And one of them even asked, hey, show us. But, laughing it off and coughing and avoiding the subject suddenly. She just made it up. And that's like a racist, you come in there and you're a racist and you think black people are never-do-wellers and they all look alike, which means that he also feels they all think alike. So, you come in and you say, hey, Jay-Z's great, or, hot sauce in my purse. And you say those kind of things that you feel are stereotypes that will be successful in fooling these people. And so you have a lot of black people voting for someone who is obviously racist against them. That's incredible. Whereas Trump, he's about all Americans, and he's always been, very close to black Americans and Hispanics all of his life. And you saw him out there. In New York, you have a lot of liberals, but they all praised him. They never felt he was racist until he ran for president as a Republican and the machine started. And how did that racism against black Americans start? Well, this is how Dems do it. President Trump makes a speech about illegals coming in saying many are rapists. They change it to President Trump says all illegals are rapists. And then they change it to Trump says Hispanics are all rapists. Therefore, Trump is racist against Hispanics. And therefore, if he's racist against Hispanics, he's also racist against blacks. And then they come out with Trump is racist against blacks. That's how it goes. But it doesn't make any sense. But the media does that. And that's why the media is really the number one problem in our nation now. Because these people are a serious threat to our republic. And it's partly because of that. It's like they want to incite racial division. They want to. Maybe they think it's funny. Now, in the same way, you have all these Hollywood people, many of them are Jewish, or people in the media, many of them are Jewish. It's not a secret. They do well. And they're all supporting Democrats, including Choco. Now, Choco and Valerie Jarrett are the most anti-Semitic duo that was ever in the White House. And these 8 years with Choco, it's the most anti-Semitic administration in U.S. history. And I'm not even joking about that. And you saw how they suppressed the picture of Choco with Louis Farrakhan, and they had the Muslim Brotherhood come in and care, and they were, colluding with Iran, giving them billions, while Iran was saying they want to wipe Israel off the map. And we're talking about Choco and Valerie Jarrett being, raging anti-Semitics. But they get full support and billions of dollars from Hollywood Jews and all that support from the media. And why? Why are they supporting somebody who is that anti-Semitic? And so, on a recent Limbaugh show, there was a caller, a Jewish woman, and she said it's not about that these Jews are hating themselves because they're Jews in a racial way. They're hating the religion of it. They don't like religion. People that are far left, be it Hollywood, liberals, or whatnot, they see religion as a problem, whether it's Judaism or Christianity. And strangely, they do appreciate Islam, which is kind of awkward. But they see those religions as standing in the way of the far left-wing takeover. And that's why even Jews on the left support the most anti-Semitic president we ever had. And that is Barack Choco from Kenya. He hated Israel. And I'm sure that after spending more than 20 years in an anti-Semitic church and having all those anti-Semitic friends, that he himself really hates Jews. And so it's really awkward. You have blacks supporting a racist like Hillary Clinton. You have Jews supporting an anti-Semitic like Choco and also Valerie Jarrett. And even that Never Trumper recently in Pittsburgh. The guy hated Trump because he loves the Jewish people in Israel. Even his daughter is Jewish and his son-in-law is Jewish. And so he had more in common with the left, obviously. And they try to blame it on Trump, but it's not making any sense to anyone. But there is something about the left that coddles people that are anti-Semitic. But then you have a lot of Jewish people that are voting for liberals that are anti-Semitic. So again, it's like voting against your own interests. How is that possible? Now, with the Jewish people voting for anti-Semitics on the left, you can make the argument it's because they just want to eliminate religion. You know, maybe as a race they feel Jewish, but in the religious sense, not so much. And they prefer communism or liberalism over the religion that is Judaism. So you have to look now why black Americans would support Hillary Clinton if she's clearly a racist. Is it because they feel Republicans are even more racist? Or is it because of peer pressure? Is it because they don't even care, they just vote Democrat and that's all they know? Because it's like, if you have your parents that are Democrats and your grandparents are Democrats and all your friends are Democrats, it feels kind of awkward to be the only one to say Republican. I mean, you have to have some kind of a sense of who you are, right? So in a Republican neighborhood, most chances are that people will vote for Republicans, and it would be awkward to see that one guy checking the box for somebody like Hillary. So I'm wondering why that can even be. Why can people just not even care about the most basic of requirements? I mean, you want to vote for somebody that supports you. And can you say that Hillary Clinton supports black people? No. She's a racist. And can you say Choco and Valerie Jarrett supported Jews? No. Not at all. Yet that support was almost unconditional. And I find